Thank you, Bishop Acuna. This concludes the inaugural ceremonies. The next part of today's meeting will be the organization meeting as required by state statute. I call upon Reverend M. William Howard, Jr., pastor of Bethany Baptist Church in Newark, to offer an invocation for the beginning of this program. Reverend Howard.
If I could have your attention for the sake of time, even if you're leaving, if I promise to be brief, I'd like to ask you to stand in place. In Southern Africa, the great country, Mozambique, in the midst of their struggle for independence, had a cry to appeal to all of its people. In Portuguese, a luta continua. I've been backstage thinking and listening to eloquence and passion of our leaders. And I thought, oh my, the city of Newark, so blessed by outstanding talent and energy, to say nothing of commitment. So I feel very hopeful, because we are in the midst of a struggle. But then Newark is no stranger to struggle. And in the darkest hour, and this time ahead may approximate the darkest hour, the light of God shines brightest. So I invite you now to pray with me with sober minds, open hearts, and humble spirits. Almighty and ever-loving God, a God full of compassion, with the capacity to bring wrath, but most often brings love. We come before you confessing that we have not been all that you have empowered us to be, but praying that you will not bring us here to drop us. We thank you for all the blessings, and there are many. Enable us to thank you for the things that have transpired, not simply to focus on the things yet undone. Then we ask that you grant our leaders freedom from greed and fear. Grant them courage and humility. Give them citizens who will be vigilant, informed, and engaged. Grant our leaders good health and grant them the will to work together for the good of this historic and great city, with so many wonderful days ahead. Great God, help them to focus on jobs for the people and on the kind of education that will enable them to compete for good-paying jobs to build their families. For these are the twins that form the true core challenges for Newark. And we can best reach our goals if we are united in a common goal, not by rhetoric, but by hard-won pragmatic action. So, great God, we are all up to the task of governing and being governing only if we are guided by your divine Spirit. So we cry out to you today, pleading for your intervention. We're ever so mindful of the negative energy and the doubt But we pray for your intervention because we know with it we cannot fail. And we trust that you will answer our prayers, knowing us all too well, knowing that we cannot ask that you answer because we're most deserving, but we ask you, O Lord, please hear our prayer. In the name of the all-wise and ever-present God of all the ages, we pray. Amen.